A 42-year-old man had just entered prison. The charge was privately altering the national history. By the rules of his time, that could mean death. Yet his father had spent most of a lifetime on this work. He had taken the unfinished book and was halfway through when they locked him up too. The cell was dark. Outside was the Eastern Han realm, a new emperor just enthroned. His name was Ban Zhao. The book he wrote would later be called the Book of Han, where Chinese speakers usually start when they say dynastic history. Good evening. This is Bedside Book Voice. Tonight we read the Book of Han. If you're already lying down, dim the lamp. Put the phone farther away. Pull the blanket up. 120 chapters span the whole Western Han, from Liu Bang founding the dynasty to Wang Mang seizing the throne. Many names, heavy volume. You don't need to memorize the table of contents or finish the book tonight. Just follow my voice, hear how an empire rises from the grasslands and slowly takes shape through institutions, people, and choices. Hear how Ban Zhao's family, on the frame Sima Qian built, writes history another way. Our list frames this book as how an empire's institutions and temperament took form. We'll follow that, no greed, just listening. Fall asleep halfway? Su Wu won't mind. Neither will I. Let me lay out the rules first. Nothing to memorize, nothing you must fully grasp, no notes. What you take away are a few images that stick. In Shangdal Palace the line "The great wind rises, clouds scatter," Zheng Qian turning back toward Chang'an as he leaves the frontier, Su Wu holding his staff at the northern sea for 19 years, Ban Zhao in his cell still refusing to put down the brush. Some images come from imperial annals, some from biographies, some from treatises. Together they say, reading history is not only who won, but what rules made an age run. As for why Ban Zhao in prison kept writing, that stays beside your pillow until halfway through tonight, when we return to it. First, meet the book and its author. Ban Zhao, courtesy name Meng Jian, lived in the Eastern Han, born around 32 CE, died around 92 CE. He came from a family of historians. His father Ban Biao was a famous scholar of early Eastern Han. Ban Biao criticized Sima Qian's records. A general history from the Yellow Emperor through the Western Han was too mixed. The Han portion deserved its own book, written in finer detail. Ban Biao began and died before finishing. Ban Zhao took the draft and continued. Halfway through, someone accused him of privately altering national history. He was jailed, nearly executed. His younger brother Ban Chao petitioned for mercy. The emperor valued his talent, released him, and appointed him keeper of the Orchid Terrace to compile state history. Ban Zhao finished the Book of Han in that official post. Ban Zhao did not live to see the final draft. In 92 CE he followed Do Xian on campaign and died on the road. What remained, mainly tables and some biographies, was completed by his sister Ban Zhao. Ban Zhao, courtesy name Hui Ban, is one of the most famous women scholars in Chinese historiography. Under Emperor He, she entered the palace by imperial order to teach the empress and imperial consorts. She sorted Ban Zhao's papers and invited Ma Su of the same commandery to supplement part of the text. The Book of Han bears Ban Zhao's name, but behind it lies a family, 2 generations, and a woman catching the baton at the crucial moment. When you read it, remember, this is not one man's book but a household bound by the word of honor to write the Western Han clearly. The Book of Han was completed in the Eastern Han, China's first dynastic history. What is dynastic history? It tells one dynasty only, not from antiquity through the present. Sima Qian's records are general history from the Yellow Emperor to Emperor Wu. Ban Zhao's Book of Han covers only the Western Han, from the High Emperor Liu Bang to Wang Mang's usurpation, 210 years. 120 chapters, more than 700,000 characters. The form still has annals, tables, treatises, and biographies, but drops the hereditary houses of the records. Feudal kings go into biographies. 12 annals for 12 Western Han emperors, 8 tables aligning lords, ministers, and consort clans, 10 treatises on institutions, calendar, rites, music, food and money, penal law, geography, astronomy. A special strength of this book, 70 biographies of generals, ministers, Confucians, knights-errant, favorites, the Xiongnu, and more. Before Ban Gu, Sima Qian had already made annals-and-biography history feel alive. Ban Gu changed the knife, not a long vertical cut through all ages, but a horizontal slice of the Western Han, finer and closer to the character Han. Read the Han annals and tables in the records, then the Book of Han. The same events feel denser, more focused, more glued to that one word. Later, the 24 histories are mostly one dynasty per book, and the line runs from the Book of Han. Scholars say, Sima Qian opened annals and biography form, Ban Gu opened dynastic form. Read both and you see history as one long rope, or as a warehouse that holds only one dynasty. The tables in the Book of Han sound like spreadsheets and read like time maps. Tables of ancient and modern people, of civil and military officials, of feudal kings who held what post in which year, which king was en theft when, aligned row by row. You don't need to finish the tables tonight, know that Ban Gu uses them to help you locate yourself. A name appears in a biography and you are unsure which political moment it belongs to. You check the table and the before and after clears. Like reading an org chart or a timeline today, when names multiply, you need a base map where the story floats away. Among the 8 tables, the table of civil and military officials lists who succeeded whom from chancellor down like a very long appointment roster. Dry? A little. But to grasp why Wang had that power in that position, you sometimes need one glance back at the year on the table. Where does the book begin? With the annals of the High Emperor Liu Bang, pavilion chief of Pei, loved wine and curses, yet in the late Qin years he gathered Shaoyi, Zhongliang, Han Xian, Fan Kuai, Zhou Bo, rose from a minor post to enter the pass and break Qin, outlasted Xiongnu in the Chuan struggle, and took the throne. Ban Gu writes Liu Bang closer to early Han archives than to legend, as in the records. Reading the High Emperor Annals, Ban Gu's brush feels more upright, merit written, faults not fully erased, yet often with a sense that the Han house was right to rule. That's not mere praise, it is faith that a dynastic history should show how a dynasty was established. Early Han also has a moment often taken as the start of institutional temperament. When Shaoyi entered Xianyang, others seized gold and silver, he first collected the Qin chancellors and censors' statutes and maps. Later, settling Chang'an, timber ran short. Shaoyi said, seizing gold was wrong then, building the palace now is right. Later ages must see the Son of Heaven's majesty. Ban Gu records such details to say, winning on horseback was not all. In Guangzhou they also had to set both rules and face together. Reading the High Emperor Annals, remember not only the Song of the Great Wind but the question every empire faces from day one: what do you take first, what second? You have probably heard, the great wind rises, clouds scatter, where will bold men guard the 4 quarters? Liu Bang sang this late in life, Ban Gu records it in the High Emperor Annals. Close your eyes and you feel something bold and lonely, the realm is settled, but who remains to guard it? From commoner to son of heaven, Liu Bang won not only by courage but by using people, enduring, surviving Hong Gate. The records already tell these tales. Ban Gu retells them with details tied to early Han institutions, the 3 simple laws on entering the pass, rest for the people, and feffing same surname kings, then slowly trimming feudal power. Do not rank the 2 books, feel how the character Han grows from one man's name into a nation's name. Next, the era later men praise in the first half of the Western Han, the rule of Wen and Jing. Emperor Wen Lu Hang and Emperor Jing Lu Qi, father and son, few campaigns, light taxes, rest for the people. Ban Gu's famous passage on Wen, he wanted a terrace, the budget equaled the entire property of 10 middle-class households. He calculated and dropped the project. That's an emperor asking, my comfort, how much blood from the people? Jing continued, suppressed the rebellion of the 7 states, trimmed feudal power again. Read Wen in Jing and feel a young empire standing up by seeking stability first, letting people breathe. That temperament is not a slogan but decades of choices stacked together. Between Wen and Jing is a story often cited for law, Tiying saving her father. Xiongnu faced corporal punishment, young Tiying petitioned to sell herself as a slave to redeem him. Wen was moved and abolished the harshest body punishments. Ban Gu puts this in the annals to say, early Han rest for the people was not only lower taxes but a trace of humanity in penal law. You don't need to memorize statutes tonight, feel how temperament also lives in whether one girl's letter can change an old punishment. Then Emperor Wu Lu Che. Under Wu, territory, prestige, and institutions of the Western Han reached a new scale. Ban Gu's chapters on Wu are enormous, much of the book. You feel two forces pushing at once, expansion Zhang Qian to the western regions, Wei Cheng and Hua Xubing striking the Xiongnu, the Silk Road named from this age, and the state reaching into the economy, salt and iron monopolies, equalizing transport, money and power bound tighter. Wu also elevated Confucian ritual as official ideology, not overnight banning all other schools, but pushing Ru teaching to the center. If you ask how an empire takes final shape, Wu's reign is where military, economic, and intellectual lines twist together. One clarification so you do not misunderstand, elevating Confucianism did not close every other school in a night. Dong Zhongshu urged imperial doctors, schools, and Ru ritual to norm political ethics, legalist penal names and Taoist rest still shadow real policy. Ban Gu writes Wu's Feng and Shan writes, his quest for immortals, and the tragedy of Crown Prince Ju. One emperor can expand, centralize, honor Confucius, and still trust magicians. Empire temperament is not a single line of good or bad but several forces twisted together. Read Wu's chapters without rushing to verdict, listen to how those forces coexist. Zhang Qian's story sits mainly in his biography and Western regions records. Emperor Wu sent him west to ally with the Yuezhi against the Xiongnu. The Xiongnu held him 10 years, he escaped and went on. No alliance, but he brought back geography, products, and customs of the Heshi corridor and western regions. Ban Gu writes it plainly, a road walks systematically into history for the first time. You don't need to memorize every state name, feel that the empire is not only Chang'an but deserts, snow mountains, and foreign peoples beyond the wall. That horizon belongs to Wu's age. Later Ban Chao throws down the brush and takes the sword another line, mainly in the Book of the later Han, but the source is Zhang Qian. The Book of Han also has people who show how to speak inside the system. In the biography of Jian, he confronts Emperor Wu to his face, Your Majesty desires much within but shows benevolence without. Wu falls silent. Ban Gu was not writing a simple brave minister but a surviving straight-speaker heir from early Han. The emperor may honor Confucians in open borders, yet someone still says what the ruler does not want to hear. Whether that space exists, and how large it is part of temperament. Read Jian, then later favorites and consort clans, and feel how the air changes from first half to second half of the book. Opposite expansion, several biographies write integrity. The most famous is Su Wu. Sent to the Xiongnu under Emperor Wu, detained, urged to surrender, he refused. They sent him to herd sheep at the Northern Sea, today's Lake Baikal region. He held the Han staff 19 years until the tassel wore away, still gripping. When Han envoys came under Emperor Zhao, Su Wu returned. Ban Gu writes Li Ling coming to persuade him. Su Wu answers, serving the ruler is like a son serving a father. If a son dies for his father, no regret. Do not reduce this to patriotism alone, it is a choice to keep an identity where you can't go home. That breath later became the Chinese example when they speak of moral backbone. Two men often named with expansion under Wu, Wei Cheng and Hua Xubing. Wei Cheng rose from servitude, 7 victories in 7 battles. Hua Xubing became general at 18. How can I think of home while the Xiongnu are not destroyed? Ban Gu writes them in the joint biography, tone slightly more restrained than the records, yet victories clear. Temperament holds not only Su Wu's holding fast but this striking outward opening passes, reaching the western regions, pushing Han prestige beyond the wall. The cost stays in the book. Years of War, Scattered Households, Wu's later Wheeltower Edict of Regret. Ban Gu does not write only glory, he leaves the price in treatises and biographies for you to weigh. Another piece good before sleep, Jai. Young, brilliant, made a doctor under Emperor Wen, wrote on the fall of Qin and on securing the realm, feudal lords growing strong, Xiongnu not subdued, rights not repaired. Ban Gu's biography tells how Wen did not adopt his grand plan but made him tutor to the prince of Changsha. Jia Yi crossed the Xiang River, wrote laments for Chu Yuan and the owl. Feel an empire still rising yet someone already sees cracks. He died at 33, talent high, fate thin. Ban Gu includes him to say, shaping an age is not only emperors but those who see problems too late to fix them. If you are still awake, a small favor, if something tonight moved you, tap like and subscribe to Bedside Book Voice. No need to comment now, tea tomorrow is fine. We continue. If this is your first formal history, the Book of Han may feel intimidating. For bedtime listening, you need not start at page 1. Hold a few names: Liu Bang, Emperor Wen, Emperor Wu, Su Wu, Zhang Qian, Wang Mang, Ban Gu. Hold a few words: dynastic history, annals, treatises, biographies. With those pegs, the original book later feels not like a seamless wall but doors you can push open one by one. Tonight you open the first, the rest can wait. The book remains, the doors remain. One section the records also has, but Ban Gu writes with special care, is the treatises, the skeleton of the state, institutions, ritual, astronomy, geography, economy. In biographies you see faces, in treatises you see how the machine turns. The treatise on food and money follows land, tax, coinage, salt and iron from Xiangyang's reforms to Han equalizing policies. An empire is not only emperors and generals but how grain is collected, money minted, trade routes managed. The treatise on penal law traces statutes from Qin to Han. The treatise on geography lists commanderies, households, customs, like a map you can unfold. The bibliographic treatise is one of China's earliest systematic catalogues. Ban Gu sorted books then known into classics, histories, masters, and collections, noting authors, titles, transmission. You don't need to memorize the categories, feel that reading the Book of Han is also reading how people of that age organized knowledge. Half a dynasty's temperament lives in people, half in these rules. Ban Gu's treatises are often more systematic than the record's treatises because he focuses on one dynasty. Scholars say, to understand Han institutions, start with the treatises. At night, if you hear the word institutions, remember, biographies show faces, treatises show bone. The Xiongnu biography deserves a word. The Xiongnu were the Western Han's greatest northern threat: war, peace, marriage alliances, border markets, generations entangled. Ban Gu writes them not only in biographies but across annals and treatises. Empire taking shape is not only how laws are made in Chang'an but how we and they are defined beyond the wall. Zhang Xian, Su Wu, Wei Qing, what Xubing all run through this line. Read Xiongnu and Western regions together and a map opens in your mind, a Central Plains empire systematically writing its periphery into Orthodox history for the first time. Beyond Su Wu and Zhang Qian, many names reward bedtime listening. Xiao He and Chao Shen helped Liu Bang win the realm, then helped Wen and Jing guard it, follow the precedent, change little. The saying goes, when rules are set, later men walk the same path with less turmoil. Chao Kuo and Zhu Fu Yan, one urged cutting feudal power, one helped Wu's enfeoffment decree, both pulled central authority toward the rail. Read them and feel shaping an empire is not only expansion but gathering local force to the center. The biography of Hua Guang, regent, deposed one emperor, raised Emperor Xian, power overwhelming the court yet he did not seize the throne. Ban Gu writes him fine-grained, you see how close consort clans and strong ministers can stand to the Han system, and whether they can still pull back. Zhang Liang's biography in the Book of Han is shorter than in the records yet keeps the strategist who plans within the tent. Read Zhang Liang against Wu's frontier generals, two kinds of force, reading hearts and timing versus reading grain routes and geography. Temperament is pushed by both in turn. Ban Gu often shows in such alternation, one kind of person wins the realm, another guards and expands it. At night you might ask, do I need Zhang Liang's calculation or Su Wu's holding fast? Biographies of Sima Qian and Yang Yun still echo the records. Yang Yun, Sima Qian's grandson, was ruined by a slip of the tongue. He wrote a friend, "My fields are overgrown, why not return?" Ban Gu brings these figures into the Book of Han, and history does not break, the line from the records still sounds here. Ban Gu criticized Sima Qian, Yellow Emperor, too godlike, some accounts not upright enough, yet inherited form, narrative, and the method of seeing one event from several biographies. Read both books like two historians in dialogue, one through all ages, one for one dynasty, one with more personal feeling in the brush, one with more institution and orthodoxy. Ban Gu gave full biographies to figures the records treated briefly, the Rhapsody writer Wang Bao, the knight-errant in favorite chapters. On knights like Zhu Jia and Gui Jie he is more wary than Sima Qian, often calling them lawless, yet he admits common people sometimes relied on them for another kind of trust. On favorites like Deng Tong and Dong Xian the tone is cold. Read here Ban Gu's own voice. The Han house wanted stability, those who broke order, knight or favorite, earned a record. The Confucian and Literary Gardens biographies hold classicists and writers. After Wu established doctors for the 5 classics, more men studied, schools differed, the new text and old text debate already stirs in the Confucian chapter. Yang Xiong and Sima Shangru each have a seat among literary men. Honoring Confucianism was not only slogans at court but a growth of lecturers, essayists, and office seekers in society. Temperament also lives in who is allowed into history and under what title. Ban Gu leaves room for scholars and writers to say, Han was not only swords but bamboo slips and ink. In the late Western Han, Ban Gu reaches Wang Mang. Of consort clan origin, humble before others, power slowly filling the court until he replaced Han and called his state Xian. The Wang Mang biography is long, almost annal length. An empire running 200 years accumulates trouble, consort power, land concentration, displaced people, confused thought. Wang Mang reformed coinage, offices, land, trying to restore Zhou models, chaos piled on chaos. Greenwood and red eyebrow rose. The Western Han ended in name with Wang Mang, in substance with deep sickness underneath. Ban Gu, an Eastern Han man, often writes usurpation into his tone, yet the space he gives Wang Mang is serious work on how an empire walks to its end. Before Wang Mang, a stretch often skipped, the revival under Emperor Xian Sun. As a child he wandered among common people, Huaguang chose him, later he ruled in his own name, the rule of Xian and filial piety. Ban Gu writes in using law and clerks without forgetting Confucian rites after Wu's expansion, pulling the empire toward stability. Read Xian's annals with Huaguang's biography, power can regent, depose, and at succession set the color of a dynasty's second half. After Xian, emperors Yuan, Chang, Ai, and Ping saw consort clans rise again until Wang Mang. Ban Gu writes this line fine-grained, temperament is not fixed once for all. It can sour in the later movement of a book. The Book of Han's influence on later ages is immense. Most orthodox histories follow its dynastic form. Its treatises became a major source for institutional history. Its language is more parallel and ornate than the records, some love the polish, some miss Sima Qian's agility. That very uprightness made the Book of Han the standard for verifying Han institutions. Tang scholar Yan Shirgu annotated it, later readers of Han history often read through his notes. You don't need to pick sides, feel that one age can hold 2 historians' brushes, one a long scroll, one a dedicated volume. Ban Gu also wrote the Rhapsody on the 2 capitals, a master of Han Fu. He followed Dosian north against the Xiongnu and carved the Yanran inscription. His brother Ban Chao's 31 years in the western regions belong mainly to the later Han, yet in the Book of Han you feel one family writing, fighting, envoy work all adding weight to the character Han. Ban Biao died on campaign like Sima Qian with wishes unfinished. The book remained and Ban Zhao carried the relay. That handoff is itself the kind of trust the book describes. After Ban Zhao, the text stabilized, stored in the Imperial Library. Later readers of Han history usually begin here. Lu Zhiji in the Tang Generalities of Historiography praised Ban Gu as full and ample, yet criticized excessive bias toward the Han house. Keep both voices, read the Western Han and read how Ban Gu saw the Western Han. Whether Cao Cao or Zhuge Liang read this book is debated, but the story of the Han dynasty rooted in language, institutions, and memory through these 120 chapters. When we say Han people, Han script, Han culture, much of the outline from 2,000 years ago was kept for us in Ban Gu's pages. Now back to the opening question, why did Ban Gu keep writing the Book of Han after prison? On his deathbed Ban Biao handed his son unfinished pages and asked that the Western Han be written clearly. Ban Gu's promise was not homework but family honor. In jail the manuscript nearly perished. Ban Chao wrote that his brother devoted himself to the book to fill gaps in Han history, not to slander the court. Emperor Ming read, valued talent, released him, gave office and materials. Ban Gu chose to finish the book, not stop in fear. Think of Sima Qian after castration still writing the records, another answer to whether a life weighs like a feather or mount high, the body may be bound, one's historian's voice must not rot halfway. You may ask with eyes closed, did Ban Gu write Eastern Han bias into the book? Yes. Writing Wang Mang, he often says usurpation, writing Liu Bang and Wu, a Han orthodox tone. Dynastic history always looks at the previous dynasty through a veil, read two voices at once, how the Western Han lived, turned, and failed, and how Eastern Han men looked back, what they magnified, what they pressed down. Reading history means hearing not only what ancients said but where the writer stood when he said it. A little more on how to read, lest you think this book is only stories. If you just heard the records, compare the High Emperor Annals with the records Gaozu Annals, same events, which details each historian keeps. Care about institutions? Turn to treatises on food and money, penal law, geography, 3 base maps. Care about people? Suwu, Zhang Xian, Guang, Wang Mang, 4 lines for integrity, distance, power, change. Do not finish in one night, like a photo album before sleep, one card tonight, another tomorrow, and the album thickens. The Book of Han seeded many idioms you may use without knowing the source, follow the precedent, elevate Confucian teaching, throw down the brush for the sword, no tiger's cub without entering the den, and more. No need to drill them. Familiarity will settle as you listen. Classics live in language not for exams but because they grew into daily speech. If Ban Gu knew people still listened to his lines beside their pillows 2,000 years on, he might feel the book was worth the cost. Limits 2, spoken plainly. A book 2,000 years old carries period frames in stance, material, and gender. Ban Zhao finished part of the work, yet women stay mostly at the margins of the narrative. Some accounts disagree with archaeology or other sources modern scholarship must cross-check. Ban Gu praised Sima Qian for not flattering or hiding fault, yet writing his own dynasty he could not always match that bar. Honor the spirit, keep a reader's distance. Separate legend from fact where you can, where you can't, listen to method and historical view. If you want one original line to carry into sleep, remember Ban Gu in his autobiographical treatise, I also wish to examine heaven and man, trace change through ages, and speak in my own voice words much like Sima Qian's, one lineage of spirit. Ban Gu's own voice clings closer to Han, how it rose, governed, expanded, fell. Dynastic historians answer why one dynasty deserves its own book. Ban Gu's answer is 210 years of material, a family's relay, and a web woven from treatises, tables, and biographies. If you ask whether tonight is enough, no. 120 chapters, 30 minutes only opens a window. But once open, you will know which door to enter. Emperors in annals, institutions in treatises, lives in biographies. Ban Gu spent a lifetime building this warehouse for the Western Han alone. Later men added bricks on his shelves. Fan Yi wrote the later Han for Eastern Han, Shen Shou wrote the records of the Three Kingdoms with another cut. Even reading today's news on how organizations run and power hands off, you may feel the annals tables treatises biographies frame wearing a new shell. If you have the records nearby, a simple contrast: on Liu Bang, Sima Qian stresses legend and character, Ban Gu early Han institutions and orthodoxy; on Emperor Wu, Sima Qian more personal mood and immortals, Ban Gu more borders, salt and iron, and Confucian ritual. Neither replaces the other, they are two ways to read. General history gives a long rope, dynastic history gives a magnifying glass. For bedtime, the glass is enough. Tomorrow, if you want the long rope again, turn to the Han chapters of the records and see familiar names alive once more, like friends with two photos in different albums. Last time we read the records, examine heaven and man, trace change, speak in one's own voice. Sima Qian's rope runs from the Yellow Emperor to his present. Tonight's Book of Han is Ban Gu enlarging and binding only the Han section. Read both and see history as general or dynastic scroll, as one person's feeling or one dynasty's institutions and temperament. How does an empire take shape? Some by the sword, some by law, some holding a staff at the northern sea, some refusing to drop the brush in a cell. Ban Gu wrote all of that into the Book of Han. Notice how Ban Gu writes dialogue. Su Wu and Li Ling at the northern sea, one urged to surrender, one refusing, few words, two breaths colliding. He rarely interrupts with long argument, people speak, then a light judgment at the biography's end. Narrative with embedded comment, not a lecture. You hear a story and swallow the judgment without noticing. That's the power of annals and biography form: meet the person and the momentum first, conclude yourself. If you open the original someday, try novel first, history second, both steps to feel Ban Gu's depth. One detail many listeners miss: Ban Gu loves turning points. Liu Bang from pavilion chief to entering the pass, Wen and Jing from rest to trimming feudal power, Wu from expansion to the wheel tower regret, Wang Mang from humility to usurpation, choice sits between. No fatalism, no guaranteed wise rulers win. What you choose at the gate often matters more than birth. For ordinary listeners, that may beat memorizing dates. Replay your day at night: was I waiting for wind, or making a choice? He also loves contrast: Su Wu and Li Ling, Xiao He and Xiao Shen, Wu Guang and Wang Mang, not to pick sides but to show how wide the roads fork in one age. Second to last paragraph: soften the voice. You don't need to become a historian or memorize 12 annals, 10 treatises, 70 biographies tonight. Remember only, an empire is not only drums of conquest but the abacus in the food and money treatise, not only Weiyang palace lamps but the staff tassel at the northern sea, not only Ban Gu's brush but the section Ban Zhao finished. 700,000 characters turn 2 Han centuries into a volume Chinese readers return to again and again. You heard a corner tonight, that corner can rest on your pillow a long time. Enough. Sleep. The rest can wait for another day with the book open. If you are still awake, leave a comment: who stayed with you, Su Wu, Zhang Qian, or Ban Gu himself? Subscribe and tap the bell so you do not miss the next episode. Next we may read the Book of the Later Han, how Fan Yi wrote the partisan prohibitions and the clear stream of scholars, the spine and price of intellectuals. 2 books together clarify how a dynasty is written into a book and read back out. The Book of Han is vast. The world was vast when Ban Gu wrote, yet his cell was small. In that small cell he still chose to finish the book. You heard an excerpt tonight, yet the excerpt holds human warmth and the skeleton of institutions. May you sleep with that warmth. If tomorrow you still remember the staff at the northern sea or the great wind in Changdal Palace, the book has left its mark beside your pillow. This is Bedside Book Voice. Good night, see you in the pages.